Good morning. Heidi Heiland, welcome to our home.
Oh, Jan, thank you.
Beautiful gardens, inspiration.
And you?
Textures and new plants that I haven't seen before.
Gosh, Heidi's amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing everything and listening to her and learning from her for sure.
I know, I just a garden dress. How was your day with your children here? Oh, and Diane is working on the Sorry, I said I was going to introduce you and then I didn't.
Don't worry about it.
There he is. He's back.
Oh my God, not Robert.
Well, we came to see other people because we haven't been together for so long.
That's true.
And
That's
beautiful
true.
gardens. I'm always looking for ways to improve my gardens.
Getting together with people and seeing other gardens from people, and doing some shopping.
Yeah, get outside, see some people we haven't seen for a year or more, and meet intern for the very first time.
I'm with my friend Sally.
Yes, we're emeritus.
Well, I'm not emeritus, but she's emeritus.
Hello, what do you hope to see today?
Beautiful flowers.
Something to make me smile.
I'm so excited to just see people face to face and tour a beautiful garden instead of everything on Zoom.
Deborah, thank you for all of the organization. I really appreciate it. And we love Master Gardeners. You guys are such a wonderful volunteer arm of the original green industry. So thank you for all that you do. And it's important that we share information. Cherry and or Prunus macchii. And my team gave that to me as a memorial for my dad when he died. And I've always wanted one of those, and they knew it, and they gave it one to me. So plants have meaning. That people-plant connection is a strong bond, and I think even more today, we need to bring that to the world. We harvest lake weeds, and we place them on the bank as mulch. I will tell you, if you do that, wear a wetsuit because you can get sand fleas, which I did the first time I did it. So we use permaculture principles here on the property, and we look for stacking functions. So I have them throughout the property, and we'll talk about that as we wander. But there's a comfrey plant that's right here where you're standing underneath the pear tree. And the comfrey we use as a bioaccumulator. So it grows really fast, it fleshes out, it produces a lot of greens debris, which is great for a couple of reasons. I can make tea. I can put it in my compost heap, and it, provides greens debris. I can let it bloom for the bees. I can do chop and drop. We do a lot of that. I'll cut it back right there. I've already cut that plant back once in full. And I just laid the branches down by my new asparagus and let it compost right in space there. I'm a busy gardener. I'm not a lazy gardener. I'm a busy gardener. And so why should I take that greens debris all the way to the compost heap and then haul it all the way back up here? So you'll see that there's some piles. I've got one right here. As I deadhead, I just throw it in the back of the garden. I didn't have my trug with me. I didn't want to work that hard at it this moment while I was waiting for you guys to gather. Just did it at my geraniums and threw them right there. So those stacking functions I think are really important as we continue to garden as our age increases. I'm gonna be 60 this summer, and I'm wanting to garden differently than I did in my 40s. And how this permeable paver driveway is engineered is we understood how much comes off the roof, goes down this rain chain into a French drain, which then shoots into the permeable system. Because the driveway is at a slight angle, there's stair steps that go down so it won't fail. The first one is about 4 feet deep, second one's about 6 feet deep, third one's about 8 feet deep. That's a rain garden, right? My arborist friends would say trees are a vertical rain garden. You're standing underneath a Parker pear and a Summer Crisp pear. I never mind if my garden is a little tatty. Certainly we prepped for you guys today. But if I'm trying to inform that rain gardens are pretty, foodscaping is fabulous looking as well. And what's fabulous about floating is that the water and the ice dams up in between those gaps. So it's really easy to tread upon, and the flow blends. The same with the permeable paver driveway. It drains the water off so it doesn't ice up. It's easier to manage than a typical driveway. Cerveza and lime.
Oh man, you could put that in a drink.
That one is utilized by indigenous Eastern Indians, and they make tea with it, and it takes care of upper respiratory ailments. I tried it on COVID, it didn't work. But wouldn't it be great if it did? Pharmacy, FARM, how are we gonna do this in the future? And plants are gonna lead the charge, right? Cerveza and lime is one of theirs.
Is that
and
perennial?
No, it's not. But I overwinter it inside. So I do a lot of that and then bring things back out. The fig is an edible fig. The amaranth is a medicinal. That's another one that self-seeds kind of crazy. One of the goals of this landscape is to have this be a nursery. And we come and take slips of it, and then we sell it at Grow House. Some of the plants are still available, some of them are sold out.
Harvest or take seed heads.
Neato. That's cool.
Cuttings? We could be here all day. You guys see strawberry.
So this is variegated pagoda dogwood that I got from my friend Debbie Lonnie at Bailey Nurseries. And it was teeny when I got it. And oh my gosh, it brings me joy all the time. Karinga shoma is in the back here. What do we do for tall shade? It's tricky. Karinga shoma doesn't mind dry sites. So it's a great plant for the dry shade. And many times shade is dry because you've got huge silver maple roots. And the tree wins. So because the tree is winning, all of my May apples that are right there in that blank spot have been dying off the last 3 years. They're not pot bound, they're root bound in their spot. I need to thin them, potentially I'll repurpose them. But we inform. The landscape is, we learn from Mother Earth, and we gotta pay attention. First year I planted it, it was 8 feet tall. It doesn't like it here. It's gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. And I don't know that I believe in always cutting down trees. There's a terminology that would suggest when a tree dies, everything else starts to live. Mm-hmm. Provides a habitat for woodpeckers. Starts to decay.
It's just incredible. What I find interesting is she talks about using kind of natives, but then she has a lot of these annuals that look gorgeous too.
Intersperses it.
Yeah.
It makes me tired just looking at all of it. how to manage all of this. It's mind-boggling.
This is the common mullein. The nuthatches and the chickadees absolutely love to eat the seed. I leave them. They're very easy to pull. They do seed a lot, but super easy to pull. And gives you some ground cover in the spring where weeds won't grow under them either. So it's good. It's a wonderful plant.
That's what makes them buoyant. And then there's pockets cut into them that you put in native plants that love the wet. And then the roots grow down into the water, and they need phosphorus to grow. So they suck the phosphorus out of the water to bloom. So it cleans the water.
Oh, it's just amazing. I mean, it's so green and lush, and it's all amazing smells and textures. It's beautiful. And all her little trinkets placed in the gardens kind of secretly. It's beautiful.
I chose Heidi this time. She's in the industry, she's well known. I've been to the grow house, and I knew that she had a lot going on here. So, and she very graciously doesn't charge any money to have people come and speak. So obviously you see it's a fabulous garden to tour.
Wood, but it's broken down a lot further so that we use it as an annual mulch. And then next to it, if we want a wood chip mulch, like on the picnic table, that's then mink colored mulch. And side by side, you can't tell the difference. So it's a real easy blend. Areas where you're gonna dig and divide perennials and install bulbs and plant annuals, we do this. And then lots of times it's the mink mulch in the other areas.
What did you call
What was the name of it? Mini pine bark nuggets. Other educational thing to consider here is hugels. So a hugel culture was developed by Sepp Holzer, who's the forefather of permaculture in Salzburg. And he, by manipulating Mother Earth, he grows grapefruit in the Austrian Alps. Oh my gosh, right? So without any degradation to her, how do we manipulate her or lean on her? So hugels help that. So right where the Cerbaria stem is a hugel, and another one is right here where the ironweed is, and behind the ironweed is hazelnuts. So what a hugel is you dig down and create a rain garden, and in that you put resources that you have. Well, I had all of these oaks and all of these tree stumps that are hugely expensive to get out of here. So we buried them in these trenches, and then we put in branches, prunings from the property, and then I had created new bed lines. So I had sod. So then I put sod in them, and then I mounded them with my compost. And at that point, my compost was cleaner. So you create a berm of sorts, but again, it's a working berm. Hugel culture. Those Heliopsis on top of the bank there, they're my husband's mom's. She's not with us anymore. My husband loves that plant, and actually his grandmother had them.
You did a good job.
Thanks for coming.
You did a wonderful.
Appreciate it.
Nice job, thank you.